Hello everybody, you are joining me at the desk. Today we are talking about climbing shoes and why they use suede. Now, this is a $200 shoe. This is by all means a performance shoe. Now, colloquial thinking, based on boots, says that top grain is king. This boot has been hailed for being pretty much 100% top grain leather. It is covered in it. It is a tank because of it. It is absolutely indestructible. It is also 2.5 pounds per shoe. Now, if top grain leather is so much better, then why is suede used here? I think it's for two reasons. One, it's way cheaper, and two, suede is super good enough. Let's talk about the first one. So, suede is way cheaper than leather for a couple of reasons. The primary one is that one height of leather produces more suede per unit area than it does top grain, because suede is really the lower layers of the tissue, where you've got top grain and then lower layers of loose fibers that comprise the suede. Suede is also a byproduct of top grain leather manufacturing. That's why you always see it in really cheap boots, in scenarios where fashion is important, and things like that, because it is so much cheaper. Additionally, it comes from a part of the leather that's not exposed to the elements. So if you have a whole slab of leather, then part of that slab is probably gonna have scars, bite marks, just general imperfections that people don't like in their top grain leather. So if they want a big, nice, clean piece of top grain like this, then they've got to weave it in between those scars and bite marks and imperfections that would be found on normal hide. Suede, that's not present. If you have leather, you can cut suede from it and it'll be super good enough. And you can dye it, you can make it look as even as you want. This suede is actually pretty dirty, but in a competition-oriented performance shoe, the cost should not be a big enough difference to where suede is chosen over top grain leather if there isn't some performance reasons. So let's move on to our second point, in that suede is better than leather in a lot of ways. Remember that suede is from a deeper part of the tissue than top grain leather is. This causes it to have a looser fiber structure within it. While this does cause suede to have less tensile strength and less wear resistance, it does have some distinct upsides. Suede is more breathable than top grain leather, which is super important in an application like a climbing shoe, where it's directly on your skin and you're sweating in it. Additionally, it's more flexible because of the looser weave, and so it's more comfortable and you don't have to break it in. And one thing that these companies do not want to put their customers through when they're already trying to break in the rubber outsole and the main structure of the climbing shoe is adding this additional layer of leather that also needs to break in. It's really important to the experience, and probably, in their mind, reduces the amount of returns that they get because people think they're more comfortable. Finally, and what I think is the most important part, is that suede has vastly less maintenance than top grain. If you look at some top grain that hasn't been super diligently maintained, as you see here, it starts to get really dry. You can see up here where it hasn't been exposed, where it's been under my jeans, you see it maintains this darker color, and you can actually feel that there's more oils in this part of the leather than down here where it's been rubbing on stuff, it's been dusty, it's been dirty. Gets really dry, and if this gets to an extended state where the leather is so dry that all of those super tight fibers in the top grain lock together, they can actually crack, which is a huge problem, and it's one that suede doesn't have because those fibers are already loose. So if the suede dries out and those fibers tighten up, then they actually won't crack and it actually doesn't cause problems. And so suede is super duper maintenance free. So why do climbing manufacturers use suede? Because they don't need the strength and wear resistance of top grain. If you look at the way this shoe is constructed, it's pretty much rubber that's been vulcanized onto this suede. There's no small points where it could break. Here where the laces go through it, it's actually backed by a stronger fabric material. And is the strength and tensile strength and wear resistance of suede are super duper good enough for this application. And then its distinct upsides come into play. You get a cheaper, more flexible, more breathable, more comfortable out of the box experience with suede rather than if you went all the way through with top grain. So if the strength is good enough to outlast the other parts of the shoe, then why not use suede? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, like it. If you subscribed it, subscribe it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.